What's happening, guys? Welcome back to Rule 2 Review, and today we're going to discuss some of this new My Nintendo news. So, yesterday Nintendo held another investors meeting, and a lot of people know what's been going on with this. It's been pretty big news that one of the main things that they focused on was detailing some of their My Nintendo information, basically what this new My Nintendo program that previously replaced, I always forget what the old, Club Nintendo, it's so simple, that previously replaced Club Nintendo is actually going to be like. We kind of knew that there was going to be a point system involved. There was talk a while ago about being able to play games to redeem points or coins for purchasing real-life goods as well as online Nintendo goods. And we didn't have a lot of information to go on, but it was pretty exciting. People started to get kind of into this whole idea of, a new achievement system that Nintendo is sort of pioneering. That's more than just nebulous points that look cool online, where your numbers just get bigger and bigger, and it's like, oh, my trophy percentage is this, or my gamer score is this. That these would actually become redeemable points or tokens or coins, things like that, stuff that we could use to either improve our gameplay experience or maybe to purchase like swag online, like a poster or a little figure and stuff like that. And everyone got pretty hip to the idea that maybe this is a whole new way to do achievements that Nintendo was sort of going to be pioneering. And we didn't know basically much more than that, and that was a couple of months ago. Now that they've kind of detailed it a little bit more, it sounds like that's kind of sort of still true. So there's a whole bunch of different translations and stuff online. This Dr. Sirkin Kato whatever guy on Twitter has done a bunch of translations. This new Cheesemeister 3K person showed up on Twitter doing translations, and there's transcripts available all over the place, and it's really weird. Everyone's translating, and it's just one of these strange things, but most of the information seems to be fairly consistent. Ultimately, what people are telling us Nintendo detailed in their investors meeting is that there are going to be Nintendo points for the My Nintendo, and there's two different kinds of points. There's platinum points and there's gold points, fairly standard. And they both serve different purposes, and you redeem them in different ways. Or I should say you earn them in different ways. So, if I was to get this pulled up here. Now, the platinum points are the ones that are meant for, or platinum coins. No, they're points, okay. Points, coins, tokens, I don't freaking know. So the platinum points are meant for redeeming what sounds like the real-life kinds of what I just called swag. So if you need a new poster, or if you're going to get like a little Nintendo handbag or a figurine, things like that you would, previously we would redeem our points for on the Club Nintendo stuff. That's what the platinum points would do. Now, the gold points are the ones that you would actually use specifically on the Nintendo eShop for deals on games, DLC, and probably even for, if you have enough points, for buying brand new games. So there's the platinum and the gold. The platinum are, as they detail it, platinum are for fun and gold are for deals. So that's pretty cool. The really neat thing is we get these points. Now, there's different ways to get them, and I don't know if the article I have here is telling me what they were, and I guess not. I looked this up earlier. So the gold ones, I think, are the points that you get for buying and playing games. The same way, it could have been the platinum. I wish I knew. One of the points you get from basically buying games, like we did with the old points, for the Club Nintendo. The other one I think you get from actually playing the games. So as you unlock things through playing, you're getting these points. And I'm super sorry, guys. I thought this article had this too. It must have been a different article I was reading that details which ones you get from playing and which ones you get from buying. But ultimately, by getting involved with your Nintendo content and making Nintendo purchases and then playing those games, you're getting different kinds of points to unlock different kinds of other content and bonuses for yourself. Ultimately, it's pretty freaking cool. I'm super okay with this. I mean, even the way the Club Nintendo worked was pretty cool and made people really happy because we were already buying games we would like and want anyway, and the bonus for buying those things was letting us get things and redeem them online. I mean, I really enjoy like Sony and Microsoft and Steam's online networks and stuff, but nobody does anything like that. It's really cool. And that's even going back to the Club Nintendo stuff. I mean, that's been going on for so long. Nintendo has been rewarding gamers who got involved with Club Nintendo with stuff, with free stuff, whether it's, like I said, a poster, or whether it's extra content in a game. That is so freaking cool. Or or games. I mean, you can buy games to earn points to get other games. That was so cool. And My Nintendo is taking that same concept, like the same basic DNA of that concept, and moving it to a whole new program that's a little bit more involved and interactive with the consumer and the gamer. And it's giving us, again, incentive to play through games. It's an achievement system, it sounds like, and it's going to get us free stuff. And that's freaking cool. So I'm pretty pumped about this. We still need to see more. We want to know like what the infrastructure looks like. What does it look like to really redeem the points? Is it something that's going to track and you can always see how many points you have online on your system? Or do you have to get onto a website the way you did with Club Nintendo, stuff like that? Things that probably, as we understand more about the Nintendo NX, we'll probably start to get a good picture of, because I think that this is all meant to coincide with the NX and become the new achievement and loyalty program moving forward with the NX as their new future generation and future, years and decades to come with Nintendo and its hardware. So we have to kind of wait and see how that stuff goes. But, ultimately, I think it's pretty cool stuff. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but I'm personally really excited for all that. So that's all supposed to launch in March. They have like 39 countries that the My Nintendo is going to launch in. Apparently, you can pre-register or register around February 17th. That's kind of the word here, is that in February you can register for it. In March, apparently it's going to go live, so that's pretty cool. And their goal is to get 100 million users, and that's what they're trying to do there. So that's pretty interesting. We'll have to take a look and see what it looks like come February when they say, hey, you can actually register for this now. It's going to launch next month, or in February. It's February now, but basically in 2 weeks. And kind of just see what that whole thing looks like. Very, very curious, but ultimately pretty cool. So some of the other things that they discussed too that I wanted to run by you guys as well is they did discuss a little bit Miitomo, the polarizing, oh my freaking god, stupidest thing in the world, Miitomo, that everyone lost their minds over recently. And you heard me talk about it. I don't really care about Miitomo. It's something that's very specific to a specific demographic, I think. And for that, it's probably going to be fine. It's the first officially released and discussed collaboration with DeNA and their whole mobile partnership. So it's some sort of mobile app, game, free-to-play, social network sort of thing, I guess. Obviously, we're going to find out more. Anyway, so that is going to be, so pre-registration for that also begins in February, and that game is also going to launch in March. So it seems like both My Nintendo and it looks like February 17th is actually the date related to Miitomo, not specifically My Nintendo, so that's my fault. But, so basically, both Miitomo and My Nintendo, you apparently register in February 17th for Miitomo, and in March they will both go live in a different amount of countries. Miitomo has 8 different languages it's going to be available in, and so that thing is going to launch in March, and it's going to be probably their first official new mobile initiative thing that is released and live for people to actually start using and interacting with and downloading and all that good stuff. So that's very interesting. We don't really know what else Miitomo is supposed to do. I have a feeling that Miitomo is going to sort of be tied into the My Nintendo network as well, so that'll help convince and coerce more people to want to get involved. Like people like maybe you and me who might be excited about My Nintendo but not really give 2 craps about Miitomo might say, oh shit, there's actually a benefit to getting into Miitomo because of what it's going to give me for My Nintendo, and provided Miitomo doesn't really cost any money, which I don't think it does, then it's like, well, it's a free investment, might as well download the thing on my phone and just see what I do from there. So the whole mobile partnership is about to start kind of kicking into gear. Whatever's happening with DeNA, whatever's happening with Nintendo and mobile games and mobile apps and its PC integration is all getting ready to start rolling out. And although I don't really care about Miitomo specifically, the overall initiative and this big, huge business decision by Nintendo, I'm very curious about. I don't know how much content on the mobile side is going to be interesting to me. Probably not a lot, but I do want to see what it all really turns into. I want to see what the purpose of it is. I want to see what it adds to gamers and to gaming. I want to see what other kind of gamers they can try to kind of wrap in, which I think is part of what they're trying to do. And I want to see if it becomes successful, and as I've talked about numerous times, if it becomes a brand new revenue stream that can help Nintendo start to make more money, be more profitable and successful, and as I've also said numerous times, more money to roll back into their actual hardware and software gaming. I mean, what it is that they are, which is a gaming company. We want this money that they may see from a successful mobile initiative to help generate better content on our side, on the gaming side. On the console and handheld side, and on the game development side, and maybe creating stronger partnerships and branding with third parties to maybe start healing those relationships and getting quality third-party content on higher numbers back onto their platforms, as well as their own software being better than it's ever been. I think that that's really what could be happening here with this mobile stuff. With, again, specifically with Miitomo, which is the only details we've gotten yesterday from this whole investors meeting, we don't quite know how that's going to work still. I mean, it uses Miis. That's what we know, is there's Miis involved in Miitomo. Okay. Now, I think, again, it's supposed to be free. Maybe it's not free. Maybe it's 99 cents. So maybe, when 1 million people download Miitomo, that's $99 million right there, and that's how Nintendo's making their money off of Miitomo. Maybe it's free, but you get to buy and purchase other small little things, and that becomes revenue generating for Nintendo. All these different things we just won't know until the next, month or two play out and we see what it's like when it goes live. But like I said, this stuff is all something that I think is just hopefully going to be successful for Nintendo to make Nintendo a better company. And although I could give two craps about Miitomo, I think that that's only a good thing. So the only other thing I really wanted to discuss super quick is with this initiative, this mobile stuff rolling out, there also was a little bit of talk about how the PC integration is going to work, because Nintendo's sort of dropped like the little slight hints here and there ever since this information has been talked about also working with PC. And everyone is like, well, what does that mean? Like, the mobile stuff is weird enough, but what do you mean with PC? And it sounds like the little bit of information I could find on this also from this investors meeting is that there's going to be some sort of PC application, I think, for the My Nintendo or for whatever they've created with DeNA, that is going to sort of operate almost like a store, like a mobile store. So kind of like Steam or even the eShop. Only I think it's only supposed to be specific for mobile stuff. I could be wrong. Maybe it was something that's also wrapped up with My Nintendo, and you guys, if you actually do know, you can correct me if I'm wrong and put that stuff below. But it's some sort of way to access Nintendo's content, whether it's mobile, whether it's console, or whether it's both and all together. You can access it, you can make purchases, you can purchase games, and you can start downloading them to your system or your phone from this app on your PC. So there's some sort of tie in there. It's not like they're making PC games. That would be a whole crazy shitstorm. What a mess that would be. But they're basically just creating what sounds like some sort of application, sort of like Steam, sort of like Origin, sort of like the eShop or Xbox Live. Kind of, only it works with PC, and I think it's going to work, again, either with the mobile stuff or with the console stuff, or maybe both. And I think that's also very, very smart, provided this is all implemented correctly. So we're going just off of ideas and the little bit of information we got this last day or so. None of this is hard information. We haven't seen like what the UIs and these interfaces and everything look like yet, so we don't quite know how they're implemented. But now that we're getting like a more and more clear picture of what it's actually supposed to do, what the purpose of these things are, we need to wait and see if they're implemented properly. If these things are all implemented properly, My Nintendo, Miitomo, mobile games and mobile apps, and this little PC application thing, if this is all implemented properly, it could be super badass. It could be great for Nintendo. It could be great for the gamer. It could be more engaging and interactive for us, the gamers and the fans and the consumers. And it could help Nintendo make a bunch of money, Obviously, it could all fall flat on its face, and then it's like, well, there's another botched idea, and that kind of sucks. Hopefully, it wouldn't become like a huge loss of money for Nintendo. It probably would. We just have to see. So there's potential for some or all of this to maybe not be awesome or not be successful. But it all seems like very simple and straightforward, and something that doesn't seem to be, disrupting or affecting anything else Nintendo may be doing outside of these projects. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they seem like they're all their own little tiny worlds of projects. And like, if Miitomo fell on its face, or if the PC stuff was something people didn't get into, I don't know why that would affect anything else Nintendo does, such as making great games, getting the NX ready for launch, being successful with the Nintendo 3DS. Like, why would a failure on one of these new things side affect their typical game creation side? And that's like kind of the real positive I see here, is whatever these things are seem to hopefully exist in their own little bubble for now. Of course, if they're successful, that bubble pops, and then the money being generated from these things still feeds back to Nintendo because they're the parent company over all this. So the good could affect the good stuff that we like positively. If it goes bad, hopefully it wouldn't really negatively affect the things that we like. I think that there's kind of only a positive cycle to be seen here. That remains to be seen. Maybe that theory is wrong, but I feel pretty good about it. Ultimately, like I said a couple of times, we just have to wait and see. But it's pretty exciting to get a little bit more information. I think that there's a lot of potential for this stuff to either be really awesome or at the very least be very successful and therefore good for Nintendo and therefore good for us, for you and me. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. That's what's going on with their investors meeting info about the My Nintendo, which sounds super badass, and Miitomo online PC stuff. Bunch of crazy shit going on with Nintendo. All mostly pretty cool, I think. So what do you guys think? Share your thoughts about this My Nintendo. Are you excited or not? Do you think it's going to affect the NX going forward? What do you think about Miitomo and all the DeNA and mobile stuff and all this crazy information? Share your guys' thoughts below. I love hearing from you. Thanks as always for tuning in. This is Rob of Rule 2 Review, and I'll catch you guys next time on another video.